Hello, this is Johnny Henson, Professor Poole with Billiard University out of Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Steve Mizerak. Steve Mizerak was a gentleman. He kind of came onto the pro circuit in the 70s, maybe the early 80s is when he was dominant. But he was a force, and he basically dominated pool for 5 or 6 years, and then he was good before that, and he was even good after that. But for about 4 or 5 years, he was basically the man. And what I liked about Steve is he was always very pleasant to be around. He was a very good interview. He did a lot of work on TV. He was a commentator on tournaments, and so he brought kind of a professional eye to different matches, and so I think he added a lot of color to the sport. He kind of was instrumental in bringing the sport into the TV age, and I think that with that being said, I think that he deserved going into the Hall of Fame for probably just that alone, much less being a great player. Uh, but one thing that I think Steve Mizerak did that was most people are remembering for was when he did the just showing off beer commercial. I think it was Miller Lite, when he set up this shot, and then he basically would shoot this ball and he would go 3 or 4 rails, and when it would and then he would raise the beer can off the table, and the cue ball would go underneath it and make the last ball. And he'd say, or just when you're just showing off, which a lot of people remember him with that beer commercial. But even that brought a lot of attention to the sport. So when we think about where the sport is now worldwide with these big tournaments and international fields, it's people like Steve Mizerak that really, really helped make all that happen. The thing of it is, if you watch some vintage footage of Steve, he was very much of a field player. He had a flair about him, and he was always real pleasant to be around, and he was always very cordial to his opponent. And I think if you really, he was a classy guy. And if I could transfer some of those attributes to my students in my 3-day seminars, well then I think that their games will be not only better, but also their relationship with their opponents will be better because of the way that they're acting and holding themselves at the table. So I believe Steve Mizerak has been a great attribute to the sport of pool. I believe he's helped take pool to where it is today, and he's part of our pool history. So basically, give him a watch on YouTube, and maybe even pick out 1 or 2 things that he really does great, and add those to your arsenal and add those to your game, and it will help improve your game. So anyway, good luck to you, and good shooting.